It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Showtime! Geno Jones, Showtime. I'm coming to you live. Today is Tuesday, June 9th. All right, shout out to Gemini Stand Up. Happy birthday to T.D. Jakes, Thomas Dexter Jakes Jr. Did you know that's what T.D. stands for? Thomas Dexter Jakes Jr., T.D. Jakes, mega church pastor and author and I think movie producer. Anyway, T.D. Jakes is 69 today. And Tamala Mann, who has been in so many Tyler Perry movies and plays, TV show Meet the Browns, her and her husband David Mann, Tamala Mann, she is 60 today. Shout out to my Geminis, all right? Stand up. And if you are celebrating a birthday today with Thomas Dexter Jakes Jr., TDJ, or Tamala Mann, happy birthday to you. May you have so many more. Now, 7:30, that's what we do Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 on the West Coast. Programming note early. So next week, I will be not in my home studio. My oldest daughter, Boogie's having a baby, a little Hendrix. Could happen any day now. Her due date was, well, she had one due date, then they moved it back about 4 days. So I will be visiting my firstborn daughter. She is having her first child, my first grandchild. Little Hendrix, not so little. He's already 7 pounds in utero. Hendrix, spelled with an X, like Jimi Hendrix, Hendrix, Blue, spelled Bleu, Hendrix Blue, Vaughn. Shout out to little Hendrix, Boogie, and my son-in-law, Jonathan. So I'm really proud of him. So, as a matter of fact, I'll be recording some shows. I'll be doing something different. You'll probably see them in the YouTube Shorts. I'll be doing some videos while I am not in my home studio, but I'm not going to be completely out the loop. So that's going to start Monday, actually. So there's a chance I could do a live show Monday, but as the way things are looking now, Friday will probably be, definitely Monday. If we do a live show next Monday, it will be the last show for about a little over a week. So we'll keep you posted. Still got today, Tuesday, we got Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. So all this week we are live. This show is interactive. So everybody that's watching me live right now, please, if you got a comment, you see where it says live chat, leave your conversations, leave your questions, comments in my chat room if you're watching me live right now. And you can always leave your comments in the comments section below. But when I am on camera live, and if you are watching me live in real time, please leave me some comments or questions, jump in that chat room and say what you got to say. Go ahead and get it off your chest, okay? All right, where do I want to well, first of all, let's start today. Today's election day. Election day here in South Carolina. As a matter of fact, the polls just closed a little over a half hour ago. So polls are open 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. So, and the voter turnout has been incredible. And it's been black South Carolinas, black people here in South Carolina, they have driven a record-breaking turnout, early vote turnout, and just a turnout in general for a primary. Now, we got to keep that energy going. We got to even turn it up more in November. So as a matter of fact, looking at some early numbers, shout out to Dr. Jermaine Johnson. He is a member of the South Carolina legislation up in Columbia. He is running he's running for governor on the Democratic ticket. There are two other men in there's a guy named Mullins McLeod, then there's a guy named Billy Webster. And the early numbers I saw, Dr. Jermaine Johnson is like ahead by over 20 points to his next closest opponent, which is Billy Webster. And Mullins McLeod is, I saw like 11%. So South Carolina has a chance to elect. It looks like South Carolina will have a chance to elect an African-American man as governor. And we as black people in South Carolina, as non-MAGA, non-racist, bigoted white Americans, along with non-MAGA Hispanics and non-MAGA Asians, because I got to call y'all out, because you got the whites. Keep in mind, whiteness is a made up con. It's a con game. Social scientists call it a construct. It was created. It's not rooted in reality. It's not rooted in biology or science, because there's nothing in the human genome. You don't get a DNA test and they'll say, hey, I'm 94% white. No, it don't work. And blackness was created out of whiteness, so they could create blackness and place it and project it on a whole planet full of people, really a continent of people in Africa. So they could oppress these people. They could teach the Europeans who were not from the elite class, who were referred to as peasants, like the wealthy Europeans who didn't give a shit about poor Europeans and called them peasants, and they couldn't marry into the elite, so the royalty, because the royal family, it was marrying their first and second cousins and all that old crazy shit. I digress. But there's enough, especially if, once again, Black America, shout out to my man Gary Chambers, who ran for office in Louisiana, who does a great job. You see him on social media. I see him a lot on Instagram. Listen, if we just show up, if we show up for ourselves and each other, if we show up and if we stand up and push that button and take everybody with us, we could shut this shit down overnight. And the cult knows it. That's why they are so frantic and trying to say, oh, California, the elections are rigged and all. Anytime, if a MAGA candidate doesn't win, the election is rigged. But if a MAGA candidate wins, then the election is fair. Listen, he started that shit back in January of 2021. That's how you got the insurrection, thousands of violent thugs and criminals who engaged in attempted murder because they were chanting out loud, hang Mike Pence. So they're on live television and live streaming saying that we are about to engage in murder. Premeditated. Came with the gallows and the hangman's noose, chanting hang Mike Pence, looking for Mike Pence, looking to kill Nancy Pelosi, looking to kill Congressman Jim Clyburn and others, attempting to kill police officers who traumatized enough of those police officers that defended the U.S. Capitol, to where at least 4 of those U.S. Capitol police officers committed suicide from the trauma of that day. Shortly thereafter. So it's real. But if we show up for ourselves, we can shock the world, as Muhammad Ali said, shock the world. Because we got the numbers and they know it. And that's the fear. So shout out to Dr. Jermaine Johnson. And it looks like he's going to be, the early numbers, a man named Alan Wilson, who is currently the lieutenant governor, South Carolina. He was in the last numbers I saw, he was in the lead, not by a lot, but he was still in the lead. But South Carolina, you are in a position we can elect. Trust me, if black people show up, like I said, there's enough non-MAGA white people in South Carolina, enough non-MAGA Hispanics and non-MAGA Asians and everything else. With Dr. Johnson, who's done a great job of his ground game, literally just being himself out in these streets, boots on the ground, all across the state of South Carolina. So big shout out to, but you got to run through the tape. It's not over yet, but the early numbers, as a matter of fact, I saw a poll, showed him in the lead. and he's even out doing better. The actual numbers that we're looking at now are even better than the numbers I saw in the polling this morning, and he was way ahead in the poll this morning for the Democratic primary. So keep your eye on. You're going to hear a lot more about that name, Dr. Jermaine Johnson. And so far, on the Democratic side, Dr. Annie Andrews. Now, shout out to Brandon Brown. He's in second place. It would be great if we could get Brandon Brown to be on the ticket for U.S. Senate. So Brandon Brown is a brother here in South Carolina. He is running against Dr. Annie Andrews, a white woman who's very well known here in South Carolina. Definitely not like a MAGA plant, not at all. As a matter of fact, full disclosure, I spoke to Dr. Andrews myself maybe back in, was it April? Maybe about 2 months ago. And she said she was going to come on the show. She's been really busy. I've been talking to her team. So we expect to see Dr. Andrews right here on the Geno Jones Show real soon. Now, on the MAGA side, it looks like Butterfly himself, Lindsey Graham, a.k.a. Butterfly, is going to win the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate, incumbent senator. He's been a senator for a while in South Carolina for well over 2 decades. So it'll be Lindsey Graham, who's very, very vulnerable. Lindsey Graham versus, looks like, Dr. Annie Andrews. But Brandon Brown, even though the last numbers I saw, he was down by 20%, but it was early, only maybe 1-2%, less than 10% of the vote was in. So he could actually come back. Brandon Brown could wind up becoming the Democratic nominee to run for the U.S. Senate seat against Lindsey Graham. But as of now, it looks like Dr. Annie Andrews is going to be the Democratic candidate. She'll be running against Lindsey Graham. And Lindsey Graham, a.k.a. Butterfly, is very, very beatable. So we need to send his little butterfly ass on to wherever he wants. Just go on and find you a woman, find you a man, find whatever you're looking for. Find it. You ain't got to go home, Lindsey Butterfly, but you can get your ass. You got to get the hell up out of here. Get it up out of the U.S. Senate, because you've disgraced yourself. You talked about how horrible Donald Trump was, and you wanted to if you want to make America great, then get rid of Donald Trump. And now your head, you and Tim Scott, you all's head is so far up Donald Trump's ass. If he coughs and opens his mouth, we can see you smiling. That's how far you got your head up through the anus, the rectum and the anus, through his intestines. Y'all head is so far up his ass, you're up in his esophagus. Y'all really, that means you really got your head far up somebody's ass. Lindsey Graham, you and Tim Scott, both. So, Tim, you next. But Lindsey, your time is here. Yes, MAGA coward, your time is here. And here and now, look, they had a song, Here and Now. Your time is here and now, Butterfly, Lindsey Graham. So big shout out to all the South Carolina voters that are voting for humanity. Now we got to run through the tape. That means we got to show up in even larger numbers in November. Run through the tape. If you ran track, you had a coach that tell you, when you get to the finish line, you don't get there and stop. Don't run to the tape, run through the tape. So you want to have a lot of momentum. You want to be near your peak speed when you hit that tape. Don't get near the tape and slow down. No, try to accelerate. Run through the tape. And politically, that's what we need you to do. Dr. Jermaine Johnson, that's what we need you to do. Dr. Annie Andrews, if you do come out, or Brandon Brown, if you wind up coming from behind and becoming the nominee for the U.S. Senate on the Democratic ticket, we need you to do that. And I'll have some more updates tomorrow. Because we have several really brilliant, qualified. As a matter of fact, the superintendent of South Carolina schools, a sister named Sylvia. I haven't seen her numbers yet. I got to look at those. She's a brilliant sister, and we've been trying to get her on the show. She has a great chance to be the school superintendent for the entire state of South Carolina. And there's another brother, because I had all these names and I voted for everybody. So I don't have them in front of me tomorrow, but we'll take a real deep dive tomorrow for that. Now, all right, let me make a pivot here. Speaking of pivot, let's talk about the NBA Finals. Yes. Game 3. Madison Square Garden, New York City, the heart of New York City, right there, Midtown Manhattan. Yes. Well. So the New York Knicks, they had won like 13 straight playoff games. They hadn't lost a game in like 46 days or something like that. But I tried, listen, I don't want to say I told you so. That's not the energy. I know what I just, listen, man, my spirit doesn't lead me wrong. And I know, and I knew, but when I heard that Orange Hitler was going to the Knicks game yesterday. So the owner, James Dolan, is an old friend of Orange Hitler, Donald Trump. They both have been credibly accused of sexual, assault, harassment. So James Dolan, the owner, is a piece of shit. His daddy had all the money, and he just inherited it. Who did that sound like? Oh, Orange Hitler himself, right? So, they, birds of a feather, flock together. So James Dolan, in spite of all the goodwill, all the good vibes, all the positive vibes, all the energy, even my man, the rapper Mace said, man, I ain't seen no Bloods or Crips. I ain't seen no, GDs, Gangster Disciples, BDs, Black Disciples. Just all the gangbangers is cool. Everybody was getting along in New York. Like, because New York is a very diverse city. You got people from all over the planet. You name it, the Caribbean, from Chinatown and Korea, and from Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Bermuda, any island you could name, Panama. New York is really a diverse city. Jews, Italians, Irish, you name all of it, they got it all. Eastern Europeans, Russians, they got it all. New York is a very diverse city like that. And everybody was getting along. They were just having big parties, watch parties, literally on the streets, in the pavilion right in front of Madison Square Garden for like the real fans. Because, these folks that just wanted to be seen and was paying $9,000 to sit up in the top of the damn stadium in the nosebleed seats at this 300 section, where they probably needed a Hubble telescope to see the court. They're better staying at home, paid $9,000 because they wanted to be in the building and they wanted to be in the atmosphere and the energy and the good vibes. But when I heard that Orange Hitler was going to show up at the game, I was like, oh no. Get ready, y'all. The curse of Orange Hitler, AKA the curse of Donald Trump. And if you watched last night's episode, I'm just going to remind you, and if you didn't see last night's episode, I warned, okay? I said, listen, this is not good. He has all this negative karma and energy and bad vibes and just all the negative with the bigotry and the hate and the evil and lying, narcissism and just Epstein class. As a matter of fact, what was it? Somebody in his cabinet, little bald head dude, the one that was a neighbor with Jeffrey Epstein. His name will come to me. I saw him at the game. I said, oh, we got the Epstein class in the house. Yes, we got the Epstein. His name will come to me, and maybe somebody's watching they'll jump in the chat room and tell me. But so just all this bad energy, and Knicks fans and people were pissed off because even people that paid $10,000, $20,000, they had to stand in line for like over 2 hours. Basically, they had they call a security perimeter 8 blocks out, a city mile. I know what that's like. I went to the Democratic convention, and the night that Kamala Harris spoke virtually, they had at least, I think it was at least 6 blocks out, somewhere between 6 to 8 blocks away from the United Center. They really had all these huge, thick steel, like fences, yay high, with Secret Service agents with all kind of, automatic weapons, look like some kind of AR-15 style, M16 style, these long guns, not playing. So people had to, first you got to walk 8 blocks to get to the Madison Square Garden. You in line for 2 hours. So that means that all of New York was messed up, shut down. So you couldn't get around. They shut this, all for Orange Hitler to go to the game, for his ass to go to the game, get booed during the national anthem. Think about it. When have you ever been to any kind of event or saw an event on TV where people were singing the national anthem, and in the middle of the national, not even in the middle, had barely after the first verse of the national anthem hadn't been completed, and for whatever reason, whose idea was it to actually cut away somebody, this was in Madison Square Garden. That's who did that. But whose bright idea was it, hey, let's put a picture, let's show Donald Trump, let's put Donald Trump on the big Jumbotron screen during the national anthem. Oh, because he's the president and the commander-in-chief, so we're singing the national anthem. Let's put the president. People stopped singing in the middle of the national anthem and booed his ass unmercilessly. Boo! 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 They booed the shit out of his. And he stood there looking goofy like, and they are booing the shit out. They are booing his ass so loud, Putin could hear it over in Russia some damn where. She was over in China saying, damn, what's that noise? Oh, what time is it in New York? Oh, are they booing Donald Trump? The game is, he didn't have to hear it on TV. They were booing so loud, they could hear with the naked ear all the way to Beijing or Moscow. They could hear them booing Orange Hitler's ass. And I loved it. But I said, man, this is not a good sign. Man, he's bringing this negative energy. It screwed up the Knicks. The Knicks looked like they forgot how to play basketball. Now, the referees were helping out, and Commissioner Adam Silver, man, I'm really disgusted with you. Really? You were the commissioner when they kicked out another racist owner, Donald Sterling. These Donalds, that must be, maybe these women had to be, if you're a white woman and you named your son Donald, either you were a racist or he was going to be a racist. Donald Sterling used to own the LA Clippers, and they forced him to sell the team because he was having an affair with this little young girl, and she recorded him talking about, Magic Johnson, because so Donald Sterling, the owner, now, he having an affair with this little young ass girl, but Donald Sterling was pissed off because this little young girl was cool with Magic. She wasn't screwing Magic, they went, but she everybody in LA loved Magic. And she was just, talking about singing Magic's praises. And it said Donald Sterling off. He was like, oh, these blacks. And, he was saying all this racist stuff. And she she recorded it all. And, man, when that video, when the recordings came out, it was so racist. The way even the Clippers, Donald Sterling's team, they took their shit off, their jerseys off. They was like, put it on the floor. It's like, hey, we ain't playing for this. It was so bad that the NBA, basically, they forced Donald Sterling to sell the Clippers. Now he sold it to a guy named Steve Ballmer, who I think was one of the founders of Microsoft, another billionaire. But they got Donald Sterling's ass up out of there. So, and Adam Silver was like the tip of the spear. And I was like, okay, Adam Silver, because he replaced a guy named David Stern, who was really his racist ass piece of shit. I don't care what anybody said. I said it and I meant it. So David Stern could come on the show and I would tell him that to his face, but I digress. But last night, pregame show with Shaq and Ernie Johnson, who's the main anchor, the host, and Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley, Draymond Green, and Adam Silver came on caping for Orange Hitler. Well, it's good, and he's a longtime fan, and he did a little video promoting the NBA, and maybe sports can bring us all together. And I'm like, Adam Silver, what the fuck? What is? Oh, so you MAGA? Damn, Adam Silver, I did not know you were. But see, he ain't that angry MAGA. He one of the MAGAs that will fool you, because if somebody would have told me Adam Silver is MAGA, I'd have been like, Adam Silver, that got racist ass Donald Sterling banned for life. You can find the video right here on YouTube. Adam Silver had a press conference talking about the owner of the Clippers when all the racist recordings came out about Donald Sterling saying all that racist shit. Adam Silver he had just got the job. Adam Silver held a press conference and said, Donald Sterling is banned for life. I'll never forget it. I saw it in real time. Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers, is forced to sell the team, and Donald Sterling is banned for life. He paused for dramatic effect. I was like, all right, come on, Adam Silver. But last night, that was a different Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, by the way, Adam Silver. Really? You caping for Orange Hitler? Really? A league that's 70% black? Adam Silver. Because even Shaq couldn't even say shit. Now keep in mind, there's a video out here on YouTube. Shaq was at some like UFC fight. And he was like shaking hands. It was like, so, Shaq, he's got a pass. He's got a pass there from that. But he hadn't come out cooning like Nelly and 50 Cent and Kanye and Stephen A. Smith and all them. He hadn't come out cooning like that. But that moment, Shaq, we don't care how big your ass is, all right? You always talking about you going to slap somebody. Well, your big ass can get knocked out too. You ain't that big, all right? So, but I digress. But Shaq was like, he wasn't even cool with that. And Kenny Smith was looking, even Barkley was mute. The body language and Draymond always, I guess Draymond said, man, listen, y'all know y'all call me the thug already. So, I guess he said, man, let me not snap. Because if I say something, I'm gonna say the wrong thing. And this is the NBA commissioner, so he could kick me out the league permanently. So let me just hold my powder. Let me not be Draymond and snap like I normally would and snatch Adam Silver by the neck, snatch him up by the neck, and then lose my job and blow my millions. So Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, was caping for Orange Hitler and trying to and he and the Knicks owner James Dolan, they've been friends. Stop talking, Adam Silver. Oh my God, somebody send this to him. So the curse of Donald Trump struck the Knicks where they forgot how to play basketball. And I said it last night. I said, if the Knicks lose, what I said last night in real time, I said, if the Knicks lose tonight, that's what I said yesterday, before the game, literally, an hour before the game, I said, if they lose that game 3, folks in New York are going to be pissed. And pissed ain't even the right word. Pissed is mild. Folks is beyond, pissed beyond the highest level of pistivity. New York folks is pissed. It's like that moment. And not to mention Adam Silver. What is it with, this young kid, Victor Wembanyama. So big kid, 7'4", super talented, but I don't mess with him. I don't fuck with F with Wemby. Well, I meant what I said. I don't F with Wemby. My son-in-law said, "What do you think about Wembanyama?" I said, I don't F with him. I don't. And then people saw why, because the dirty stuff he did. So Jalen Brunson is like the star of the New York Knicks, but he's like my height, maybe an inch tall, 6'2". Wemby, they call him Wembanyama, 7'4". And he pushed, and I said, well, it was like Brunson was holding his jersey. But dude, you don't push them. First of all, you are literally 1 foot and 2 inches taller than Jalen Brunson. And then he just pushed him down by the back of his head and neck, just like, yeah. Like, is that what we doing? And then one of Wembanyama's teammates, Stephon Castle, just ran like he was playing football. I was like, is this football now? Put pads on. Stephon Castle ran right at my man Jalen Brunson, who's from suburban Chicago. Dad played for the Bulls. He ran at Jalen Brunson, bam, with the forearm. I'm like, oh, this football? A football game broke out? Watching the NBA Finals and a football game broke out. So, okay, is that what we do in NBA? Because y'all wanted to make sure that it goes to 6 or 7 games so everybody can get a check. I get it. I'm not going to go down that road. But the bad karma that Orange Hitler, I said, damn it, the Knicks, it's going to be the curse of Donald Trump, and I'll be damned. And I hate that I was right. So I am just, look, I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm not a Knicks fan. And, of course, I was a Jordan and Pippen fan when they played, and they used to beat the Knicks, and Knicks fans hated the Bulls. Hey, I didn't have no love for the Knicks. I was always rooting for the Bulls and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and the whole crew, and Rodman when he came, Horace Grant and them before that. But, man, really? I was like, oh, is that what we doing? So David Stern, first Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, you caping and defending Orange Hitler being in the building. You trying to go ahead and like, oh yeah, it's not there. It's a good idea. Maybe we can unite because it's a lot of division in the country, and them being here could we? Really? Like, you think Hitler was going to unite like all the people he wanted to kill? Jews and non-Jews? No, this same energy. Same energy. I said, man, the curse of Orange Hitler, a.k.a. the curse of Donald Trump. And I'll be damned if the Knicks, like I said, it looked like the Knicks had never played basketball before. Like, it was like some middle schoolers out there just, it's like, what happened? Y'all under a spell? Somebody, they didn't put a potion? What happened? What did y'all eat or drink? You're at home in Madison Square Garden. San Antonio, they out there like in the Mecca, as they call it, in Madison Square Garden with all these fans. They was like, I guess they knew. They knew the refs was going to be on their side. Victor Wembanyama doing all kind of dirty shit. No kind of foul. Forget a flagrant foul. They didn't even call a foul. Folks are calling that out. Like Adam Silver, don't make it look so obvious. It's bad enough that people think that sports is rigged and the NBA, they kind of rig stuff, and, they don't want to sweep because they want 6 or 7 games so everybody, the networks, can get more money. That's been the conversation for decades. But when you have the referees, or you let the referees do shit this obvious, when stuff, and everybody sees it in the replays, you got 3 referees on the court. How the hell none of them saw it? Really? It's not a good look, Adam Silver. Last night was not a good night for the NBA. That's all I'm going to say. So I hope I am wrong, but I'm going to say this in closing. Ooh, if the curse is somehow the Knicks cannot, if they cannot erase and remove, if they cannot remove the curse of Donald Trump, ooh, you're going to need the 52nd Airborne or whatever it's called. You're going to need the Marines, Army Rangers. You're going to have to get all the military from over there near Iran and get them out of the Strait of Hormuz, and you're going to have to get them all at Trump Tower and Trump Plaza in New York City. Because if the Knicks wind up losing this series, when they were up 2-0, and the first game they lost was at home in Madison Square Garden with the energy at a level that they had probably never seen before. And you let Orange Hitler in the building, up in the owner's luxury suite, falling asleep, his ass falling asleep during the game. And the Knicks forgot how to play basketball, all that curse. He put a curse on the Knicks. But if that curse remains, if the Knicks remain under that curse, woo! New York City would not be a place I would want to be at. And Orange Hitler, good luck with that. That's all I'm gonna say. It is not going to end well. And I feel bad for Mayor Mondani, but Mayor Mondani, hope you know this. He's a Knick fan too. Mondani. Is it Mondani or Momdani? I think it's Momdani. Mondani. I hope you know Mayor Mondani. If the Knicks lose, if this curse of Donald Trump takes the Knicks down in the series, being up 2-0, they lose the NBA Finals to a bunch of young boys and a little skinny ass, a little dirty playing ass, little French dude. Yeah, doggy. I don't know. You better get folks ready. See, I think every police officer in New York City was on duty. Well, you're going to need every police officer that's currently on duty, and maybe you may need to hire some on the spot. Hire about 10, 20,000 more, because it is going. Woo! It is not going to be pretty if the Knicks cannot somehow erase and remove the curse of Orange Hitler. Get from under the curse of Donald Trump. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. And you, especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Tell everybody, hey, listen, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe right now. Please leave your comments in the comments section below. Please, if you would like to be a sponsor or run your TV commercials on the show, I'd love to have you as part of the Geno Jones Show family. Shoot me an email, Geno Jones Show. That's my email address. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. That's Geno Jones Show at gmail.com. Now, you can support my media company. It's so important that we support Black-owned media. It is so important that we support all Black-owned institutions, Black-owned nail salons, Black-owned beauty supply stores, Black-owned convenience stores, gas stations, because the little Asian dude said, yes, that, you know what, Black people, y'all mad because Rick Chow got away with murder, even though we believe his son actually pulled the trigger. That was the little racist dude that killed Cyrus Carmack Belton 3 years ago up in Columbia, South Carolina. And last Monday, Rick Chow was found not guilty, and 5 of the 12 jurors were black, and the defense attorney was a black dude that was on this, on some MAGA bullshit. At least that mentality. Even if he didn't vote for MAGA, he had the MAGA mentality. Like, yes, black people are some of the most egregious purveyors, some of the most anti-black people, some of the most intense level of anti-blackness actually comes from some black people that hate themselves. Self-hating, self-loathing, coon, handkerchief head, Sambo acting, buck dancing, all of that. So it's so important we support all of our black-owned institutions, and it's so important we support black-owned media, independent voices speaking truth to power, or as my grandmother Jean Jones said, tell the truth and shame the devil. Because the devil showed up in Madison Square Garden and he put a curse on those Knicks, but I digress. So you can financially support my media company and this show 2 ways, via Zelle or Cash App. No amount is too small or too large. So you can Zelle your financial support using my email address once again. See that? Boom. Geno Jones Show. All one word. No the. Geno Jones Show at gmail.com. Geno Jones Show at gmail.com. Or you can Cash App $Dad G Jones. $, capital D, lowercase a d, capital G J, lowercase ONES. Shout out to Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her and her Lexi Jones collection out on IG, Instagram. Check her out. LX.NCL_. LX.NCL_. Shout out to Mr. Mark L. Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on IG or Instagram. Kel be cutting up. KELBECUTTINUP. I love you absolutely, positively, unconditionally. We'll see you live Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 on the West Coast. By the way, I will leave you love, real love, real love. It is not a noun. I don't give a damn whatever dictionary you're looking in, Webster's or Merriam or whoever. Real love, it is an action word. And remember, Scooty taught you, action words are verbs. So real love is a verb, it's an action, it is an action word. Show your love by your actions and behavior. I love you. We'll see you live. Don't forget, once again, please, leave your comments in the comment section below. We'll see you live Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, everybody.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.